Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, to the final round of the Farmers League. And we have an early morning matchup here between Lili, Vanili and Herr Acker. So these players, after not playing too many rounds over the last year, they're now really ramping up the speed, playing this matchup at not even 9 in the morning. So that just tells you that there's a lot at stake here. Now, Herr Acker in the blue, I believe, still has the chance to reach the finals and probably displace Food Please from his spot in the finals. And that would be a shocking turn of events here in this tournament. Now, Vanili in the purple, she has to defend her 4th place. And I think her goal here is just to play, just not to lose a point, and then be 4th in this tournament, just behind. Now, if Acker wins, just behind Food Please. And that would be an amazing placement for her in this tournament. Now, the map here is Amazon Tunnel. It is Vasal's map, although Vasal probably never played on it because he didn't play at all for the past half a year or so. Lili Vanili plays as the Franks, and Herr Acker is playing in the blue as the Goths. Interesting stuff. So Herr Acker, again, even though he's up against a weaker opponent, really going for the meta plays, although he's not really utilizing the Goths. So what you typically want to do here is go forward as early as possible, and since the Goths get Loom instantly, you can just go forward very early. But Herr Acker, oh no, that's Lili Vanili, sorry. Here, this is Herr Acker, but it's the same thing. Herr Acker not really going forward at all. Lili Vanili, on the other hand, actually laming Herr Acker. Nicely done, and I think she learned that in the set against Food Please, that it's sometimes very worth it to just lame and annoy the opponent. I think, of course, for players on a lower skill level, laming also takes a lot of micromanagement and focus. And so Lili Vanili is already a little behind in terms of Village Anonymous, but I think that will still feels like an accomplishment. Even if you lose, if you are able to delay and lame your opponent, it can still feel like a win, or at least feel like you've accomplished something. So if you're up against a player that is way stronger than you and you're anyways expected to lose, sometimes it's just a good idea to try something different, try something, a little small goal that you can set for yourself that can then feel like a win. And I think laming is one of those. Although Lili Vanili now losing the scout, Acker getting housed, sloppy play, terrible placement of a house next to the gold mine. I don't think it makes much difference in the long run, but yes, I think that's not ideal. So Herr Acker clearly also being rusty. I mean, Herr Acker did start a new job, a stressful job before. I'm not sure if I'm allowed to say that, but he probably had a very comfortable office job with low working hours. And now Lili Vanili starting to wall off, but the scout of Herr Acker is on the prowl. Now Lili Vanili does have Loom, but she is not quick to react, and she, like we saw in the matchup against Food Please, she does not know that you can fight the scout with the villagers, or she didn't know that at least. But I think luckily for her, the scout of Herr Acker didn't really notice this, and so we will see a wall off. And it could have been even more forward, but already this wall-off is quite nice. Now, Lili Vanili bringing in the next board. The scout arrives. Probably the scout will try to also do some laming, potentially. Let's see. The scout runs underneath the town center garrison. Yes! Very nice reaction, but of course, the micro-nerd Herr Acker reacts in time. And it's just a little bit annoying that these days town centers don't hit scouts at all, basically. And yeah, that's just a little bit annoying here, but that's okay. It just goes to show that it's oftentimes not even worth it to garrison your villagers to shoot the scout, because you don't hit anything anyways. Now, Acker just scouting around, and we're just waiting for some action in this game. Lili Vanili already walling off with 2 villagers. I think 1 villager would have been enough, although now she could leapfrog Oh no, Acker actually going for the militia. This is just ridiculous. I mean, honestly, this is not a very good strategy, especially since this is already walled off. I would hope that Lili Vanili makes a second layer of wall behind this. And, yeah, and Lili did not find the scouts. Yes, and she is starting the second layer behind these walls. And look at this. There's a scout and a militia, but that's about it. I just hope that Lili realizes that she can just fight off the scout and repair. Probably Lili Vanilli has never repaired a building in this game, or basically made something behind. Attack the scout! Yes! She learned from the last game. Yes, very nicely done. I love it. And now repair the barracks, repair the palisade. Or do something behind. Okay, we do have a pause coming up here. So there is a pause. Herr Acker only has time until 10. Although I think, given that the tournament finals are at stake here, he should dedicate the entire day for this, at least. He should make this really, because Lili Vanilli really doesn't need to play. It's Herr Acker who wants to play this matchup. But anyways, we're still being paused. I don't know, maybe there's some internet issues or something, but I hope that Lili Vanilli realizes that you can repair the buildings or just build some buildings behind them. So let's see if she realizes this, and otherwise let's see. Game paused by Herr Acker still. At least I think so. Maybe there's a new bug with the replay system. Can I unpause? No. No, I cannot. So it is indeed a pause. And will you get a penalty if the break is too long? I think that should be good. I think that should be a good idea. But now I think we are back in the game, and I hope that Lili Vanilli repairs the walls or builds something behind, because otherwise Acker is just gonna punch through these walls. No, yes, yeah, building behind, but you need to build behind the one that's being punched through. Micromanage! Oh my god, the villagers. Because look at this villager where it's walking. I mean, that's ridiculous. It could still just be in time. Yes, it is in time, just about. So nicely done there by Lili Vanilli, making sure that these militia are not able to punch through the walls, but you need to immediately start the next layer of walls and attack the scout, attack the scout, attack the scout! My god, attack the scout! And this is where everything falls apart. Nice start by Lili Vanilli, but yeah, now the scout is in feudal age, it is much stronger, and the palisade is being punched through, and another villager will go down here to the scouts and the militia, and there's nothing that Lili Vanilli can do. Lili Vanilli is still in the Dark Age, nowhere near the next age, and I think this game might be over soon, because now the flood of militia or man-at-arms or whatever Acker is planning will come forth, and then this game will end quickly. I don't know why a pause was necessary there, but yeah. Lili Vanilli having the right idea, but just didn't know how to execute the wall off. Just put a house behind. Houses are so much stronger than palisade walls, especially in Dark Age. Dark Age palisade walls are just so weak. 150 hit points. That's just nothing. And now I think we will see a lot of havoc. I think Lili Vanilli needs to realize this as early as possible and garrison the villagers inside of the town center, and then try to defend from there. But yeah, another villager gets picked off. No garrisoning so far. A lot of idols here inside of the economy of Lili Vanilli. Now finally some garrisoning, but Herr Acker is already out there pouncing and praying. Still having only militia, so not even the man-at-arms upgrade. And it's finally on the way now. But I think this will be the end. Lili Vanilli will garrison, maybe? Garrison? No. She will just give up, and rightfully so. And the first game goes to Herr Acker. Although I did like this move from Lili Vanili. She clearly recognized that you should wall off. It was just a matter of execution, and this losing the scout and then having to fight against the Acker scout was a little bit of an issue there. But overall, I think she had the right strategy and even had a window of opportunity. Imagine if you keep out the man-at-arms here and get to the next age. When your palisades get stronger, maybe you put it down with stone walls. Then Herr Acker invests all these resources into units that don't do anything. However, as you can see, if you don't manage to keep them out, the man-at-arms will just punish you and basically finish you off. Although in terms of villager numbers, it wasn't that different actually. If you keep in mind that a few villages were actually killed here by Herr Acker. So this was game number 1 in the final December round of the Farmers League between Herr Acker and Lili Vanili. Now I think we can try to jump straight into the next game. So let me see if we can find it, because this was a very, very quick one. So if we look for our players, yes, there is the rematch already. It's played on Nomad, and oh my god, there's a spec delay, and this is just something that's just a little bit ridiculous. That's just kind of a sign of desperation on the part of Herr Acker, actually setting a spec delay. I mean, he is the clear favorite. He can just play without it. But yeah, it will make do. It's only a short time until the match starts. The map is Nomad, as we said. Lili Vanili playing as the Gujaras, which are pretty decent on this map because they get the berry bushes. So especially on lower levels, you just have much more consistent food income in the early game. And also the Gujaras are able to garrison their fishing ships. Although basically no one ever uses this, but I think Nomad is one of those maps where it can be quite helpful if your opponent goes for some early fire galleys and you don't have your fire galleys out. You can just save your fish. You just garrison them in the docks, and that is absolutely fine. Now, Herr Acker, on the other hand, he is playing as the Saracens. And the Saracens, with their market bonus, also quite strong. Also having strong galleys, so they're pretty good on water. Now, Lili Vanili trying to get this sheep back, but she's not gonna make it happen, I think. Although now the sheep is back. But now you need to take it back with you. No! And now it switches sides again. Now you just walk back and forth. That was... that's just these small things. You should not try that. Either you commit, but then you need to really micromanage, or you let it go. Because now you lose all this villager walking time, and now it just get into dangerous territory. And now you really have to escort the sheep back. Although, I think that was actually very nicely done by Lili Vanili. In the end, getting the sheep back, bringing it back in, already having 3 sheep. I think what you should do is just scout around with the sheep. Because if you look at the Fog of War, she doesn't see too much. Just task these sheep to scout around. But yeah, Lili Vanili overall found a nice little cubby here next to some berry bushes, fruit bushes actually. And she gets her own forage bushes. So a lot of food income. Right from the get-go. She actually goes for the sheep, and especially with the Gujaras, and if you have food nearby, it's much better to use the sheep for scouting information. But of course that takes a lot of micromanagement, and of course Lili Vanili, as always, forgot the house, and this is a beginner's mistake on Nomad always, is forgetting the house, and also she doesn't even have a dock. It's like she forgot everything about Nomad. You build the dock, I mean, I can't see it. It's not there. She doesn't have it. Herr Acker is... but instead she's walling. What is this? Get the house! She's just... This is not good. This is not going into the game with a plan. This is just desperation. Not even having a dock up. This is just not very good. Already on the second sheep here. Not producing any villagers, not even getting loom, because you need to cancel the villager first before you can get loom. Meanwhile, Herr Acker, since he found her, he will try to do the food please type of strategy, walling in, instead of just focusing on finishing the matchup. So I would say, if Herr Acker is not able to finish this matchup by 10 o'clock, then he loses, because he says he only has limited amounts of time, and then instead of trying to win the game, he is going for some meme strategies. Now he's pausing again. So I think in my book, if Acker is not finishing until 10, he loses the matchup. There's someone ringing at the door. Doesn't matter. You're playing Age of Empires. You're playing in the Farmers League. There's nothing more important than that in your life at this point. Especially if you're doing meme strategies. I mean, walling in a way weaker opponent is just ridiculous. Just go up to the next stage and finish it. I think just going for maybe a tower rush or fast castle would be much better. And also, the pauses are not very good. Unsportsmanlike, I have to say. But yeah, also Lili Vanili, I mean, forgetting the house and now walling very, very close to the town center. This is not good. This is what you should never do. Also, she doesn't have the fishing economy. She doesn't have a dock. So that's not very, very good indeed. So let's see what this game will bring. Lili Vanili, of course, going for Loom. Let's see if Herr Acker does not have Loom yet. So Lili Vanili could actually, with Loom, fight this villager off if she sees it, but she probably doesn't see anything because she didn't scout at all with the sheep. And yes, so still paused. We still have a pause here. Remember, it is a best of 3, so this could be over soon. This could be over in 5 minutes if Herr Acker just executes. I mean, even a douche at this point would just finish the game quickly. But it seems like he is afraid. He is not very confident. And so I question whether he should be in the finals, because with this kind of afraid playstyle, and we've seen it in the last matchup against Lili Vanili as well, that Acker seemed to be kind of afraid that he might actually lose. And this is just not really the playstyle of a champion, of someone who is aspiring to be in the final. And so I think we can all agree that if this matchup is not finished before 10, before Herr Acker doesn't have any time anymore, then Herr Acker should just straight up lose. I think it's up to the admins. The admins can always decide what they want, because that's specifically in the rules. So the rules are basically meaningless. If the admin decides that whatever, he wins the tournament, then this is absolutely according to the rules. So just take home message to the viewers. Make sure that you know what you're signing up for. And if you're signing up for something with such vague rules, then anything could happen. But yeah, the game is still paused. Maybe I can switch to the fast playback speed, but it does not work. We're still paused. Herr Acker has to speak to the neighbors. Or maybe he's getting some packages delivered, some Christmas presents that he's getting, or there's just a scammer at the door, and Herr Acker is not able to tell the scammer to fuck off. And you know, there's a lot of scammers around, especially during Christmas times, where they just want your money, your hard-earned money that you just have to keep together, and they just want to extract it from you by all means possible. Now, nothing has happened in this game. I mean, we have this little town center here, some zebras getting eaten by the villagers of Herr Acker. So maybe we can just look around the map and enjoy the scenery. So let's talk about the map in general. So this is the Nomad version of Definitive Edition, which is crap. I just have to say it. It's not very good. The original Nomad map version had way more variety. There sometimes was, the map went all the way to the edge of the map. Sometimes there were big ponds in the middle with like shallow crossings and stuff like that. I mean, yes, the research distribution is maybe nicer, is better. I can agree with that. But the overall layout is just very boring. It's just always the exact same. And that just makes for very predictable gameplay in that sense. A lot of the same gameplay. Now, what I realized in this Nomad generation is that we have a lot of this cracked terrain. So I think it's actually, in principle, it's good that... Huh? So Herr Acker is throwing. So I just said to the viewers, so Lili Vanili is here, I just said to the viewers that if he is not able to finish by 10, he loses the match. because that makes sense, right? So Lili Vanili agrees that, of course she agrees, makes sense. So coming back to the terrain, so cracked terrain, your buildings take more damage, and I think stuff like this could be utilized a little bit more, although I think the implementation of the cracked terrain is maybe not the best. It's little, like, most people probably don't even know that this is an effect, and then it's also not quite clear, like, if just one tile of your building is on the cracked terrain, how does it apply to your building and stuff like that. But I think overall there's still some design space for new things in the game. But yeah, I think we need to get back to a little bit more random maps, really. I mean, if even Nomad, which is a very random map, is this streamlined, always the same, then this is just a shame and so much wasted potential, to be totally honest here. And yeah, so still nothing from the players. I mean, this is just sad. I mean, look at this screen. This is just sad. You have a way weaker opponent. Lili Vanili, of course, she is punching above her weight. She came into this tournament as kind of an underdog, and now she's in 4th place. And then we have Herr Acker, the aspiring champion, who wants to make it to the finals here, but I mean, he's just playing in a kind of a sad way. He's like I'm gonna wall you in, but it's like, okay, you need to finish this game. This is if you want to be in the finals, just finish it. Just do a douche, do a tower rush, do something, because walling in is just lame. I mean, walling in, people did that in 2018, but now it's different game, different times. And you should just go with that. So if you look at the Fog of War of Herr Acker, okay, he just knows Lili Vanili is over here. And that's another thing I don't like about the new Nomad map, is that you always see the stupid square around the town center of your opponent, so you immediately know where your opponent is. That's just very annoying. Just takes away all the surprise of, like, oh shit, he's right next to me, and now we have a town center war. That's just, even though that ends games very quickly, I think that's just a fun aspect of Nomad that has been taken away by simply making these squares around the town center. But yeah, enough ranting about me. I mean, I'm always ranting about the old times when pathing was good and the maps were random and everything was just a little bit better in terms of the overall gameplay. So I think newer players, Fredinovic probably disagrees, but he has, I don't believe that Fredinovic has ever played on the Woobly version. So this is all he knows, is this very streamlined gameplay. Okay, Herr Acker is finally back, and so he can finally try to finish this game. I mean, he's delaying and delaying and delaying. Still, he's back, but he's not unpausing yet. Okay, now finally something will happen. Lili Vanili, of course, not happy about this. Not happy about this. I mean, I think, it wasn't in the rules, but in a future tournament, I will certainly implement a pause, a maximum pause, and if that pause is exceeded, it's an automatic admin loss. Now, literally walling with 2 villages and is getting walled in at the same time. So you see that walling early on this map is not very good just because of this, because it's completely useless. But yeah, let's see. Herr Acker, of course, he is getting fishing ships, whereas Lili Vanili is not, and this is just not very good on the part of Lili Vanili not to have a dock up. Finally, I think she is maybe sending out this villager who's still holding 9 food. So if you send out villagers, make sure they drop off the food, because you will need the food. And it's no use for this villager to just run around with all the meat in her hand. Now, I'm not sure if this is an attempt at laming. This is not very good, because you don't know where your opponent is. So just laming random zebras doesn't make any sense. But maybe it was just a mistake. Now again, Lili Vanili is housed. Of course, her flow was really disrupted. And Herr Acker not even completing the wall in. So Lili Vanili could just open here and run out, so the wall in is actually pretty useless. But that's okay. As I said, very questionable strategy here. The laming not very effective, doesn't do anything. If Herr Acker is not over here, you just waste your time. You're just shooting these poor animals, and it doesn't make much sense. Now Herr Acker starting to do more wall-in stuff or not. He now maybe realized that he didn't actually build this palisade. Meanwhile, his base, not much is happening. A few on food, few on wood, but at least Herr Acker is getting the fishing ships out, and this is the big advantage he has, and the big mistake that Lili Vanili did is to not have the dock up, because the food income is just so good. And now this zebra lame is actually quite decent. I think this is close enough to Herr Acker where it might actually be of some impact here. But overall, I think it's not very successful if you don't know where your opponent is. And I think Lili Vanili will find out the hard way where Herr Acker is. And that's just a shame. She should know that Herr Acker is somewhere over here, but she will lose this villager for sure. Unless Herr Acker also does not realize. Now we see some Xing. Herr Acker saw the laming. Now Lili Vanili is actually able to escape from underneath the town center, getting a sheep as a reward and some more zebra to lame. And now Herr Acker will do more walling in stuff, and this is just incredibly lame. I'm repeating myself, and I said it in the last matchup between those two. Like, just finish the game. This is just embarrassing. If you're a way stronger player, you're not showing off. You're not showing that you're stronger. You're just showing that you're afraid. Otherwise, you would just play straight up. Just finish the game. Now, finally, we have some fighting. No fighting. Lili Vanili should just fight this. I don't know what this villager is doing here. I think she will just lose the villager. Because she already took some hits, and there's two villagers here from Herr Acker following this one around. Now, total laming here by Lili Vanili, killing all the zebras. The zebra murderer, more zebras being killed. Like, what is this? Is she sending this one out to kill more zebras? That is ridiculous. Just bring it back. Like, you're just gonna lose this. It doesn't make much sense. Just bring the villagers back. I mean, what is this? Like, you will just be followed forever. You have to bring the villagers back, and you have to stop the wall. And although this villager killed, now fight. Fight! 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 Yes, finally some fighting. But of course the other villager will just die if you just keep this up like this. And you're getting walled in. And you see it. So do something about it. Fight. Fight this. Fight. And yeah, this villager gets killed, which was expected. And now this villager will just escape, because Acker knows that in these types of situations, you just retreat to your town center and you save your villager and kill your opponent's villager. And now this is terrible. This villager will get killed. This villager can now not retreat to the town center anymore, because Lili Vanili is walled in. And here we see what I said. This villager escapes, and this villager will just get killed off. Another villager down for Lili Vanili. So these villager fight situations, and this villager will get killed off. So we have so many villagers already getting killed off. And you see why the early walling on Nomad is not very good, because now Lili Vanili is boxed in. She has 0 resources, and this game is over in principle. However, Herr Acker is really slow in like finishing this off. Look at this. He's at 34 villages and still in Dark Age. Like, this is just ridiculous. He could already be on the way to Castle Age at this point. Or in Feudal Age doing some aggression. This is just ridiculous. But instead he's like doing nothing. He probably doesn't even have to build. No, he doesn't have to build. He just has the dock. And he doesn't have the buildings to go up. And this is just sad gameplay here. Yes, there's another villager that's being killed here by Herr Acker. He's way in the lead. But yeah, this is just sad. I mean, Lili Vanili on the way to the Feudal Age whereas Herr Acker is still in Dark Age. And this is just, yeah, I don't know what I should call it, but this is just sad gameplay. Of course, Lili, way weaker player. This is expected, and all you can think of is walling in. I mean, this is just painful to watch. I mean, Lili will also be able to break 3 if she realizes go through. No. This is also it's open anyways. Okay. But this is a typical mistake. If people try to escape, they batter through, but then they don't go through, and that gives your opponent time to just re-wall over here. But yeah, the wall in not even that effective, to be honest. I mean, Lili just broke out, and she can now go to stone or gold, whatever she likes, and then she maybe can even start a counterattack. I mean, Herr Acker has nothing. He is in Dark Age still. Now Lili going for the stone. But Herr Acker, yeah, instead of finishing this, I mean, his deadline is fast approaching. He is just fumbling and might even lose a villager to the rhino. Almost losing the villager to the rhino. Embarrassing economy. I mean, he has a lot of fishing ships, and since Lili is not on water. Now imagine if Lili had a dock. She could just get a fire ship and kill 11 fishing ships, but she's not even on water. Now she's going for an archery range, but she doesn't have gold. You need gold for the archers, but that's okay. Maybe she's only going for Stäble because she loves the Stäblemen, the spearmen, and the Stäblewerfmänner, which is the skirmisher. Yes, and indeed that's what she's going for, but I think that's a lot of potentially wasted resources there, because they cost food as well, and food is very scarce in early feudal age if you don't have the fishing economy. Vanili only has 4 farms, and so she will not be able to produce villages and produce skirmishes at the same time. But now this is a nice find. A lot of villages here for Herr Acker, and Vanili has the military attack. Finally, yes. I mean, it's not very scary, to be honest. The villagers can just fight this. But it's still annoying. Lili probably doesn't realize how weak Stäblemen are. So the spearmen are just the worst unit in the game in this situation. And also the skirmishers are just absolutely terrible. They do 1 damage per shot to these villagers, so they don't do anything. They can't fight this. They also have a minimum range, so they can't even attack if the villagers come too close. And I think all this does is just, I mean, it's very effective in being annoying, but other than that, it doesn't do anything at all. It will just annoy Herr Acker, who now also has his own Stäblewerfmänner and archers as well. And Vanili needs to realize, attack the archer, just attack the archer. My God. And also, like, look at the AI of the skirmishers here. They don't realize there are some military units. Instead, they just keep on attacking whatever unit they have attacked before. And now the archer is, of course, much stronger against villagers than the Stäblewerfmänner. And so Vanili doesn't. Oh God! Don't go so deep. Vanili always overcommits. She always tries to attack and then overcommits, and then in the end she will lose villagers just because she's going way too deep into this. And yeah, you just see how bad the Stäblewerfmänner and the Stäblemänner are. This watchtower will just get battered down. There's nothing Vanili can do. But this is just an embarrassing showing from Herr Acker. Like, just finish the game. Finish the game. You have 49 villagers against 26. There's nothing Lili can do here, but yeah, nothing. Really nothing. You have all this fish. You have the complete fish boom. You're still in feudal age. Now finally on the way to the castle age. And your Saracen archers. Like, what the fuck? Just finish it. Micromanagement with skirmishes against skirmishes from Vanili. Like, what is this even? What am I watching here? This is just sad. Look at this. Houses here. Double archery range. I think he will now go for a castle drop. But I mean, this game could be over already. But yeah, I mean, I have to give credit to Lili Vanili here. I mean, she did a very bad start. No dock, walling herself, boxing herself in. But now she has recovered a little bit. She made some military. She thwarted the early attack of Herr Acker. Although now this watchtower probably will be too late, unfortunately. Although maybe if Herr Acker doesn't realize, I mean, he's getting quite hung up on this house, then maybe this watchtower, with a little bit of help of these villagers just fumbling and bumbling around, then this might actually work out in the end. But I think Herr Acker is actually microing, so probably this watchtower will not make it. No, actually, it's gonna be very, very close. If you could just click, 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 click. Yes, the watchtower is up. Nicely done. But there's still a tile where the archers can just sit underneath the watchtower and just attack from there. Now Acker finally in the castle age. We're just waiting for him to finally get there. Now he's getting wheelbarrow for 0 farms. 0 farms here. Wheelbarrow does nothing. This is just absolutely ridiculous. And now he is going for the castle drop finally. I mean, if you're going for castle drop, why are you going for wheelbarrow? I mean, it's just... this just makes me so sad. And now we see the castle drop. And the game is finally over. I mean, Lili Vanili just called it GG. This is just an embarrassing display. I mean, Herr Acker will move on to the finals, but honestly, I think the admins should consider this almost as an admin loss. This display of skill here. But yeah, as it stands, Lili Vanili is in 4th, Food Priest in 3rd, Herr Acker in 2nd, and Fredinovic in 1st. And I don't think anyone saw these standings comings before the Farmers League. And so what a surprise. And yes, and then finally we are almost done with this tournament. It's been very exhausting for everyone. Just way too many matches, way too many rounds, way too many different rules. But soon we're through it, and we will know who is the king of the farmers.